think we adopt the mantra, who cares? Who cares what they think? If you feel good in it, if it feels good in your living room, you walk in my house and you see a leather couch with tiger print, then a red chair that's like Louis the 16th Victorian. I've been collecting for a minute, with an IKEA table. Pray my strength. I did say I was going to ask her to consult me when it was all said and done. I need that energy. I was on her website like, yeah, I would love that. And I want to do a whole wall now. Literally, the ideal for you to become an entrepreneur, and what prevents either one of you, I'll start with you, what prevented you from saying a 9-to-5 isn't for me? After you were there.
I was there.
Yeah, when you left the federal contracting world, and what about that? What made you say no more?
I think it was the pushback and lack of allowing me to be who I was. Okay. I needed to express myself as me. And it was okay. Just like you said, if I'm not the one for you, that's okay. Right. But other people, share that. So they share my vision, they share my look. Just having clients, like I tested it out before I left, don't get me wrong. But it was having that, where your clients hone in on you. They give you full freedom. You're like, well, they believe in me, so I have to believe in me. Yes. So I think that's what it was. It was just no stopping, right? Like going full force. Not being afraid to be Team Michelle.
So here you have one spectrum where Madam White here has been in the government contracting world. She had the 9-to-5, and she actually woke up one day, had the epiphany saying, nah, it's time for me to do me. You did hear her say she put her toe in the water before you left. So there's some of you who are saying, well, my God, I don't want to just jump out there. You know what? I tell people, when you're looking at building your dream, you work your 9-to-5, and then you come home and you work your 5 to whenever.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Building your dream, right? And you did that after becoming a career woman. Yeah, and you just got on that plane and went to LA. Like, oh, man. At 19. Yeah. Most 19-year-olds nowadays ain't getting on no planes. They still texting. They still trying to figure out this thing called life. But you leaped at 19, went to LA. What made you say that a 9-to-5 ain't gonna never work for you?
Well, that just was never on my radar. Not that I have anything against it, but I just kind of like what she said. I'm a free, and I just knew that I couldn't be held down, and I had to do something where I could let my creative juices flow, and again, be bold, be me. Again, not that I have anything against a 9-to-5. I just gotta be me. I wanna explore. I wanna travel the world. It's just so much more to offer, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I'm hearing the free spirit. Your hair says it all. Right? I love it, but no, because you understand in the corporate world. In the corporate world, I came to work with an afro one day. I went to talk about it, and I was actually sent to HR and asked if I was all right because my hair looked untamed. And I work for the Secretary of Defense, so I feel you, a government contractor. Right.
I cut mine, and they say, is everything okay? And I'm like, I'm perfectly fine.
That's when I started braiding it down and slapping on wigs, because, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't scaring people and thinking I was going to have a riot when I got to work every morning. But I was like you. When I left corporate America, I put the heels under the desk. I put on some Chuck Taylors, and I let my hair go.
Yes.
And then it got too hot in Georgia, so then I braided it back up. But there's a sense of freedom, and I think everybody will get there. If your desire is to be a boss, if your desire is to be at what you do and get paid for what you do, you're going to have that moment where you say never again. I call it the career calling, right? You're going to have that knock on the door. It's probably nudging in your gut. You feel it every day, and you're like, oh, God. I don't know if you worked in D.C. I worked in D.C., so it was for me going in the Beltway every day thinking, if I got to get in this traffic, one more game. And hear these statistics about how people are suicidal and have more heart attacks on Monday. I don't want to have a heart attack on Monday. I'm like you ladies. I want to watch Netflix and chill at 7 a.m., roll over and look at my phone and see if there's a conference call, then navigate my day. It's planned out. I'm productive. Like, you want to get up and look at that booking schedule and see if you want to go. You want to look and see which clients, like, you probably have fun when you get ready to go shopping.
Do.
You do. Look at like y'all see that glow? When you're living in your purpose, all three of us, I got these Colgate smiles up here, but all three of us can tell you that when you want to do what you've been called to do and operate in it, it will give you joy every day. And I always tell people, when you're doing what you love, you'll never, ever feel like you're working a job. Which leads me to this. Do you have a business coach, Tiffany?
I do have a business coach.
And do you find them important, and why?
Very important. When I decided to walk away, she was that person that said, it's now. Like, you're paying your employees while you're going to work. And that's not going to work. So for me, it was that person that's in your corner that's telling you things outside of just the business world. Like, this is a great book for you to read, or, this is a good exercise for you to do. So you can become comfortable in the unknown. Because this business is unknown. Being self-employed is unknown. Being a boss is extremely unknown. So having that coach there, I don't have the sessions as much as I used to. Okay. Initially, it was like, every week, every other week.
Now it's for her to be my client. Call me.
Now it's like, now it's a lot less, but I need that. I look forward to it. Sharing ideas, bouncing ideas, another, point of view that's not inside that design world. Yes. Because I do think too, your coach doesn't have to necessarily be in your industry. Yes. They're bringing a different view into your industry.
I love it. What about you, Diva? Do you have a coach? Do you find her important?
I don't. I've pretty much learned everything on my own. I guess maybe I could say like my mom, or even maybe PR, or just like my friends around me, but I've never really had a coach. Like, I've pretty much had to figure it out on my own, which is why I commend myself, because sometimes it can be very hard and I may not know what to do or what to say, but I figure it out. But I would love to have a coach. Like, I'm learning a lot from you guys right now.
SheSpeaksWorldwide.com. Shameless plug, Duson & Co. Got you covered. We'll talk to our publicist. It's what I do for a living. But to her point, to get someone, my guest last week said it so eloquently. She said everybody needs a Karen. And even my eyes got big. Because, we hate the word Karen. And, like, in space just froze. But everybody needs a Karen in their corner. And I love how she referred to it. I mean, it sounds controversial, but you need that person that your coach is not necessarily your friend. Your coach is going to tell you, yeah, you're making great time, but you're going the wrong way fast. Right? Let's come back. Let's recenter. Let's gather ourselves. Let's look at other opportunities, other options. Let's look at the pluses and the minuses. Let's really evaluate. And their accountability. Right. And I think as an entrepreneur, because we are out here figuring this thing out, accountability is everything. I have 3 coaches. I have one that is a pastor. He is Dr. Montgomery. He is all the way up in North Carolina. I have Dr. Sarita Pittman. She is an 8-figure earner in the beauty industry. Also, she owns car dealerships. So to your point, they don't even travel in my industry, but they give me perspective, right? And then I have, because I'm very tapped into spiritual. So I have, which might freak, I'm a PK, by the way, I'm a pastor's kid. But yes, Mom and Dad, I have oracles. So I have people that I talk to in the spiritual world who guide me, right? And my daddy used to say, you take the meat and you spit out the bones. So my advice to any boss who wants to beast is get you a coach, because it will take you to another level. Michael Jordan had one, right? The greatest who who entertain us every single day, they've got somebody that they can pick up the phone. And if not anything, if you don't want to talk to me or anybody, get a therapist. Trust me. Therapy. That's good. My hashtag is normalize therapy, because mental health on the journey of an entrepreneur. Let me hit you both with this. I know it wasn't pre-planned. Pandemic. How did you survive in your veins during the pandemic? Let's start with you.
Initially, I don't think I was. It was, and I agree with you. I think therapy is significant for not just a boss, just everyone. Yes. Everyone needs someone to talk to. It doesn't have to be, it could be a counselor at your church. It can be anyone. But you need somebody to bounce, thoughts, ideas. The pandemic for me started off difficult. I was unsure about business. I had just leaped away from work. So it was like, what is going on? But you have to be, it was becoming creative. So coming up with other ways to get information to clients, e-design, mid-city mail, other avenues to do the exact same thing I was doing. So
So get
Wow.
creative. Systems in place. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a minute because I was on your website. I was like, she's got systems. I like systems. What about you?
Yeah. It pretty much is the same thing. Well, for me, because I have an agency, everything is it's kind of still closed. So I'm banking off of another person for income. Like they're the ones who send me out for auditions and castings. So kind of like what she said, I gotta be creative. I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna survive? So I actually my friend, again, I have people that put things in my ear, a photographer of mine, we did a model boot camp. And I posted it on my social media, and I had like the youth come out, and I taught them, how to pose and the basics of the industry, and made money from that. So just getting creative because oh honey, it was hard.
And talk about creative, having to figure out another way to do what you do. I don't think I'd ever use Zoom so much because I'm such a hands-on, in-your-face person, dressing from here up, literally getting on a computer and not feeling isolated. The emotions that came with the pandemic of putting us in boxes, forcing us to kind of be in a little bubble, and then being the first in my family with so much responsibility. I'm sure you can relate. Do either one of you come from entrepreneur backgrounds?
Not at all.
I don't. Yeah.
So you're the first entrepreneurs in your family?
Yes.
I love that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And on track to be the first millionaires in your family if you're not already reached there?
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
It's affirmed.
You just said where?
It's affirmed.
Yes, it's been affirmed. It's been affirmed. Yes. How are you, with everything that's happening now, going that way, how are you all raising funding for what you do and for your future endeavors?
So for me, it is very much so, once again, thinking outside that box. I probably have tons of different creative ideas to build on. I always think, what's the next, way to go to build? I want to add an architectural arm. I want to make furniture and fabrics and, all the fun stuff. Yes. So I have layers there. Plans there to build. One thing my coach always told me was, everyone shoots for the 6 and 7 figures. Go for 8.
Go for 8.
So that's the plan. That's how I hope it plans out. Not that it has to be, point on. I'm always open for new opportunities to come about that a different way. So it's open.
I'm going to pull on the fact that you are looking to launch the very first Minority Design Expo. Give me details, because I want to be there.
So it's sort of like Fashion Week, but, for the minority designer or because we do exist. A lot of us hide in the shadows, and we try to conform with what's regular, but we're not going to get what we deserve if we keep on that same path. Right. So this is going to be an event like no other. There's not one out there. We're going to make it to where we have different industry vendor partners, build different relationships with, become ambassadors with different organizations, a lot of designers, tap into some networks. There are, designer networks out there that are for, minorities. So tap into those, try to get us, a fabulous, fabulous week. So come on down. Everybody will be there. Spread the news. Everybody's welcome. Come on. You can come too.
Now, you have, Cheyenne, having walked Fashion Week in Texas, having, have this, your resume is impressive. You've done videos, you've done it all. You've done Neiman Marcus, you've done Macy's. You've been a face. Tell me. How are you funding what's next for you on your journey?
Well, actually, that's something that I'm working on. That's why I said I'm learning a lot from you guys. I'm interested in becoming more of an entrepreneur. I would love to start a clothing brand or curly hair products because so many girls are in my DMs asking me about my hair. So again, I just have people.
And it's hers.
I'm just thankful that I have people around me that are pushing me or they want to see me do more, if that makes sense. So it's something that I'm in the works of. I haven't done it yet, but again, I could learn a lot from you ladies.
I'm loving it. I can see you literally like I was getting ready to say I don't see why you're not a hair ambassador already. There's so many
Well,
curly
I
girls. But we can
I
help
actually
change that.
work
We've
with,
got relationships.
yes, if I'm like, yes, help me.
Yes. And here's the thing, you already became an entrepreneur. You had a whole model boot camp. Do you realize you can do that
Yeah,
everywhere? You can do it virtually, right? If hairdressers
yeah,
can tell me how to put a lace front on from
yeah,
Instagram, you can walk me through. Because
right,
trust me, people ask me, my hair is big and blonde and curly right now. I keep it braided up because I don't know
yeah,
how to manage it, right? I keep it hidden
right,
because I was once afraid of what everybody would think. Like, does that child comb her hair? And then I've gotten so used to my
girl.
image being so slick with weaves and with wigs
Yeah,
that I kind of forgot that
yeah,
I'm a natural girl under here. Like I gave up the relaxer 20 years ago and let it go, the creamy crack,
yeah,
and I was addicted to it. But then I wanted blonde, so now I have this hair. So you're already being an entrepreneur. If I could give you anything, I would say, girl, bring the boot camps back because more of our
okay,
girls, right? And we'll tap into it. In the modeling industry, there's a toxic side. There's a toxic side
yes,
to the model industry. And I'm looking at your energy thinking you can be you are the person who has changed that face and showed us that you can say no to things that don't fit your brand. All money
yes,
isn't good money, right? You don't have to take
yeah,
all your clothes off to be beautiful,
yes,
right? And if you do, it's okay because there's a tasteful way to do it. But women,
yeah.
young women, like my question to you would become, if there was that one thing you could tell that 17-year-old or that 15-year-old or that 19-year-old who wants to do what you've done, that's where your entrepreneurs coming in because now they need a coach. What would that
Yes,
be?
I love it.
Oh yeah, you can pay me
Well,
later.
um, well, for me, just to keep the drive and to stay motivated and to always believe in yourself. You're always gonna have people, trying to talk you out of things, but just keep that drive, and keep those that love you close, and whatever profession that you're in, study that. Like the younger girls that I work with, I tell them, figure out exactly what niche you want to do. Do you want to do fashion? Do you want to do commercial? Like, you got to know exactly what lane that you will fit in and work on that because it is a very competitive field. And just make yourself the best version of you and be ready to bring it.
I love that. So how do you market yourself? I know you said you had somebody that's helping you. You have management, you have PR, but how do you market your
Yes.
business and what tools and tactics have you seen to be the most successful for you as a model?
Well, honestly, for me, Instagram is my money maker, and again, like I'm self-taught. Like I pretty much do everything on my own. Unless again, it's like I'm learning from other individuals around me. But for me, it's been Instagram. And then like back in the day, Tumblr, things like that. Because I'm 30, so yeah, the things. What else do we have? Facebook too, but it's more Instagram based.
Okay. So social media has been the key to your financial success in
Yeah, for
business.
me, for the most part, influencing and things like that, or
Absolutely.
becoming an influencer. Yeah.
Love that. And you, how have you been? I know you said LinkedIn earlier and you do networking events. What are other strategies that you found to help you be really successful in your business?
I think one of the key points that we all have to go into, and even like Yim was saying, she wants to know where the entrepreneurship comes in at. Teach people Instagram.
Please.
Because there are people like me who
Okay.
don't want to do it.
That would be me. I want to
um,
teach you.
so not that I don't think that I would. I just am not confident and comfortable in that realm. I'm a little bit older than her, so I'm in
Yeah.
the you know way back in the day part. So I'm like, I
MySpace.
don't want to.
That's
Yeah,
actually
MySpace.
MySpace. I'm the
Um,
MySpace girl.
yeah,
yeah.
Tumblr way.
She said, "Wait."
so,
I still
um,
wrote letters by mail.
That's that's actually a good idea though. That is something that I feel like I could look into that. Or is the what exactly do you call that? I think I had someone mention that before, that I should kind of mentor on that or do like a Zoom class.
Coaching.
Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know about like the algorithm and what hours to post, and yeah. So that, you're right. I should.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't keep up with the fact when they say now you can only use 10 hashtags and 30 hashtags. I ain't got time for that.
And they say now it's video.
And now it's video. Oh, now you got to do reels because your photos just aren't good enough. So now you got to do reels.
Yeah.
Like, I literally text my 23-year-old. I was like, could you find me a friend that can help me do TikToks? Because y'all do these TikToks every day. And I'm like,
No, me.
Yeah, no, like
No,
literally. But you can teach.
That's one train I had.
I hope you're writing this down so you'll catch the recording. But those are the gifts that you have in your generation. I'm going towards 50. We thank God for good skincare. Yeah. But we're going to 50. So this generation, like TikTok, what? Right? I had my friend get on TikTok. He's going towards 60. And he got on TikTok by accident because somebody called him. That man that goes through neighborhoods and says, rich man lives here, went into his neighborhood and knocked on his door. And that's how he did his first TikTok. Right? Otherwise, we're old school in the respect of, I'm still telling people belly to belly. Meet me at Starbucks at 8 a.m. And I'm bringing a notebook and a pen. And no, I don't have 17 devices. Now, I did get 3 phones. That's just because I thought that each business had to have one because I teach taxes. Yeah. So I teach taxes. I've been doing it for 10 years. So I tell people, don't commingle anything. So you have to, one of my sisters in business, she's my tax partner, she says, find your lane, stay in your lane, and burn rubber.
Yes.
So I want you, as a mental note, and this is to the audience listening, everything that you do is marketable. So if you know how to do TikTok, that's a business. $29.99. You teaching a TikTok class tomorrow. If you know how to teach people on the algorithm of Facebook, people are paying for information, right? People come and pay me for 15 minutes just to look at their tax situation. They pay me 25 minutes, $25 to talk to them for 15 minutes. And then it goes up to $600. But by the time that 15 minutes is over, they know they need me, right? And by the time my 15 minutes is over, I know I need you. I know I need her, right? Because I love my creative space. So those are gifts and talents that we lend to the world. The culture. How do you all navigate the culture that exists within your entity? So within your business, talk about how you've established culture within your organization and what is it like? What is it like to come and work for Mid-City Design Group?
So coming from that government side, everything's very laid back. I'm more like, get the work done, have fun, and we can proceed. Whether they come into the office or not, I'm not pushing it. It's very much so respect for each other and each other's craft. Most people start like in the intern level, junior designer, then they move up, lead designer, that way. But it is very much so, if you want to be at home today, that's fine. If you have an appointment, make sure you're there.
Yes.
Those type things. Initially, I think when I made my first hire, it was a lot like, let me call and make sure they're up at 7, or very nervous that
and the text message, are you working today?
But it has. I think I work best like that, not being micromanaged. I always did. So I think that whole outlook and how you build that. I was always taught that as a leader of that management world, right, you had to manage people. But really what you have to do is lead people. So that's kind of how I'm doing that. I'm just leading them to become good designers. And I also think that as business women, we shouldn't get upset if somebody leaves. For me, that means I have taught you immaculately, and you can go and share that mid-city wisdom with someone else.
Ooh, I used to be personal.
I like
you leave
that.
me, I'm in my feelings. You quit, I'm in my feelings. You taking all that I poured in, you gonna leave me? How you gonna leave me? I used to be that way, and because I was in the sales space, and you almost feel like they become your babies and your children, and you love on them, and then they just want to leave and go away. But I feel you. I can see why you're one of Houston's top 500, because culture is everything. Any corporation, any environment that you're in, you allow people to be them. When you let people be their most free selves, as you said, as long as they get the work done, as long as they show up, I tell you, the performance that they give is next to none. And then they don't want to leave. They really don't want to leave. Yeah, your world is a little different. How do you walk in? What is the day like in the day of you showing up for work as Yin?
Showing up for work. I mean, well, set life. Set life in general is you're dealing with a lot of different energies, right? So for me, again, I am always saying affirmations. I'm always going in with a positive attitude because sometimes, it's set can be a little crazy. And I've also dealt with like directors who weren't, very nice. So again, it's just always having to have this front face. You gotta fake it till you make it, basically. So pretty much just always being on your P's and Q's, always being ready for whatever they throw at you because baby, I tell you, I've been thrown some things, but
so
I've
you've
had
experienced the devil wearing Prada.
Oh yes, I have. I've experienced that. I've experienced racism. Again, you talked about being the only black woman in the room. I've been the only black girl on set, and I felt a little, shunned out. But again, I had to, shake it off, make it work. You know, pop off for the black girls.
With you being spiritual, with you, having great role models who have set precedents for you, what has been your greatest inspiration?
That's a good question. I guess I would say my mom again because just seeing how she works and how she's grounded me, it's really shaped me to become the woman that I am. Like I love her to death. I've learned a lot from her. So I feel like she would be one of my biggest inspirations. And then just other black women in general. Like I'm always learning. I'm always eager to learn. I don't know everything, so I'm all about women empowerment. So whenever I can gain something, I'm all for it. And if I can share knowledge too, I feel like we all win. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, with you being in the modeling industry, talking to your 17-year-old self, what is some advice you would give? Because I think here's the illusion. A lot of girls see the influencers, right? I'm 40 plus. And so I'm inspired. I will watch influencers like Ari, names that I'm sure you're familiar with. Ari, Jada, Wada. I'm thinking of along your age bracket because you said you're at 30. How do you, with all of that happening in the world, how do you stay true to you? And what do you say to girls looking to get in the industry? Because I think there's an illusion, right? Not to knock what they do because they have mastered it. They got bags of checks for it. But what do you say to the girl who's looking to get into the modeling industry? And this is also going to be your business as a coach. No plug. But what do you say to that young girl who wants to get in the modeling industry?
Pretty much, again, to like always just believe in yourself. Like you said, everything is an illusion. Everything you see isn't what it may be. So just be confident in yourself. I think that's one thing that helps me get by is I'm very confident. I'm very sure of myself. But again, I'm that way because I had that instilled into me from my family, from my friends. So again, it's just important to get to know yourself firstly, God, and just learn your craft. The more you know, the more you're able to apply it. You'll feel more confident. You'll walk in that room feeling like, okay, I'm here. I can do this. I can compete against this person. You just got to be sure.
Confidence. I keep hearing that resounding message with you. It's confidence. It's belief. It's knowing who you are. It's uncompromisable. And I can appreciate that there are so many girls who feel like they almost have to sell their soul to be a model. And so I want to salute you for continuing to set that example. Tiffany, what has been your greatest inspiration?
I think my greatest inspiration is probably my grandmother. She had great willpower when it came to work. Caught the bus, dedicated, stayed late, wanted to make sure she was the best at what she was doing. And that resonates it trickles down. My mom was like that. She taught for years, which I praying for teachers because I tried and I didn't make it. But I think that she's my inspiration, and the fact that she is still here and still living, she pushes me. Like, you can do more, you can do better. Like, another thing is the history. I would say in any industry you go into, learn the history and learn how it got to become where it is today. And then you can see where you might want to make your impact for the future.
I love that. So if I give you a magic stick, and I tell you with that magic stick that there are 3 things that you can create to change the world. Be thinking about this, Yen. What would they be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
A tiny house, probably.
Tiny house.
That could encompass everything that people need in developing countries. Water, shelter, warmth, heat, depending on what they need. A place of safety, because I feel like your home is where you're safe, is your safe place. Probably, one of these things is probably really weird, but it would probably be like a paint pen. Like, so I can like change paint whenever I wanted to. Paint, just a different color. That's just me. It varies by day. So, and then the other thing would probably be, for me, some way for people to communicate without it being so visual. We live in a world where everything is seen.
Everything. Good, bad, and ugly.
People are afraid to express their inner thoughts. And I think we should have some means of being able to do that without the whole world finding out.
Can we normalize intimate moments with ourselves? Right? Can we normalize that? Because like you said, we have done a great job of exploiting everything. From the grits, the burnt food you made, the food that don't look good, to your pets talking and memes. And like, there's nothing sacred anymore. Right? And if your relationship ain't on social media, then I guess your relationship ain't real either. Unless, of course, you're Beyonce. Gives us a glimpse every now and then. But the reality of it is, I love that. Normalize privacy. Again, private moments and not having the world to see everything. What about you? You got the same magic stick, Yin. What are the 3 things you would do to change the world with that?
I mean, I was going to say, you're going to have to come back to me on that one. That's a little tricky. But I like her privacy because I feel like I'm that way as well. I seen a quote where it's like, I post things, but I don't post everything. Like, you know enough, but you don't know everything. So I like the privacy thing. And then I guess maybe just more like compassion. Because I just feel, I see so much like negativity on social media. It just irks my nerves sometimes. So maybe that too, sprinkle that around a little bit.
Yes.
But for me, I
Compassion
think
and empathy.
I don't know. Empathy. I don't know, because I'm just really big on energy. Like, I try my best to like exude that, put it out, put quotes on my, stories on my feed, just because, again, like, just I feel like so many people are seeing things and they get brainwashed and then they start to take it out on other people, and it's just like, whoa, man. Relax.
Right. And I think with the internet, I'm amazed at how fast information travels, right? And how quick.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, and IG all went down. I mean, that is the same thing. I'm sorry. Facebook and Instagram went down last week. And the moment it came back up, I mean, thank God. That's what, FYI, as a brand goddess and with the brand god on my side, one of the things I will tell you is that having other vehicles outside of social media to stay connected and to communicate. Nothing happened on my show because I got a website and I streamed straight to the website. But when IG and Facebook came back up, to your point, Yin, the messaging that went directly into the subconscious of people is the Squid Games. And all the memes of Facebook and IG and the survival and the mindset. Now, don't get it twisted. Squid Games was one for the books, and I salute the man, that the story behind him writing that. For those of you who haven't watched Squid Games, I highly recommend it. I'm not being paid by Netflix for this, but I recommend it because I tell you, it will keep you on your edge all 10 episodes. Not to mention, it's the story. It's the story as an entrepreneur, I think, is so relative for us, is that gentleman wrote that Squid Games in 2009. He wrote it in 2009. He was rejected by every single studio for over 10 years. Then came Netflix. And now he's in 90 countries. Now, the messaging in that for me as an entrepreneur is keep going. Because a lot of you get as a model, you get the first no, you call mama, you cry, and you're moving back home. As a designer, you get the first no, client don't like something. The flowers need to be a little less bigger. And next thing you know, you cry and you call Uncle Sam to see if you can get that job back. People quit because of the pressure. They don't have the wherewithal, the business acumen, or the ethic to want to go through the process, wait it out, and grind it out. So I salute both of you, because you did at 19 what I would have never done. I went to the military because my family told me to get a safe and secure job. And it better be a government job so that we could pay them good old bills and make sure it got benefits. You just leaped and the net would appear. So no matter who you are, what vein you're in, whatever the passion is you want to pursue, push and do it anyways. What part of, Tiffany, what part of your life experience would you alter if you had the chance to?
I probably would be more like Yin. I would just jump from the beginning. It was that same thing. Get a good education, good job, good benefits, support yourself, and be satisfied.
With the good debt.
Yes. So it's not until you get that pit feeling that you're uncomfortable or something else is there, there's more that you're missing out on, that I think I was like, oh, no, I can't. I mean, you know, and you have those ears. This is a good job. You're going to leave a good job.
How dare you? It's going to be so selfish. What's your family going to do?
So, yeah, I probably would have made the leap and become educated in a field that I was passionate about from the beginning. Because this is, I mean, you have interior decorators that can do this, but design is a lot different.
Yes.
So, I would have done that probably 13 years before, actually.
I love that. What about you, Yin? If you had a chance to alter any part of your life experience, what would it be? In these glorious 30 years, you make it look good, darling.
I think it's the opposite from what she said. I think for me, I would have finished school. I guess just so I could have something to fall back on, per se, if needed. But other than that, I've always been a go-getter. So I don't think I would change anything. But if I could, I would finish and get my degree, which I'm actually thinking about going back and doing again, just so I can have that. And so I can instill it in my kids too. Like,
I love school. But here's the thing. And I guess because I came from the generation where it was told that you got to go do it and you wouldn't be anything without the education. And I always tell people, I got more degrees than thermometers. I don't use none of them. And Sally Mae, thank God for being a disabled veteran. Those loans got paid off, because otherwise I would have still been owing her. But what I will tell you is that I don't want, and if I could just seed it into you to understand, honey, you done went to the school of hard life and the streets, right? And I tell people there's an invaluable education that you can get from going out there and failing forward. And that, honey, you know, so don't feel the pressure of you got to go pick up that degree. Now, if you want to do it, and if you led to do it, go get it. But understand, you did something. Again, I have a 23-year-old daughter who is the bomb.com. She's a creative being, right? She's a hustler. She got mommy's work ethic. She don't take no mess off of you. She went to Alabama State for 1 year, called me and said, I'm over it. Now, the mother in me, because I was bred to believe that I needed to do it, the mother in me was like, oh, God. Oh, no, my child is quitting college. But I had to let her be her. So identity, the identity crisis, the world always has enough identity crisis happening around us. So, again, understand that. Give yourself grace on this journey and do what your heart feels, not what everybody else tells you to do. Because I did what everybody else tells me to do, and I'm like you. If somebody wouldn't have told me, oh, I would have skipped the Marine Corps. I would have skipped all that good old stuff because it wasn't me. I couldn't wait to be me. This is me. It took me 46 years to decide that I want to empower women give them a voice, because I was raised in an environment where you could not have a voice. Mm-hmm. Your opinions be seen and not heard. Your opinions didn't matter. So this right here allows me to be colorful, expressive, creative, and do me, and help other women realize they can do the same thing. So let me ask you this final question before I have you tell our audience how they find you and all that good stuff. If you could write a book about yourself, how would you name it?
Ooh.
I'll go with you, Yin. I felt that.
Ooh, girl, I don't know. The first thing that popped in my head was Sasha Fierce, but I don't know.
We'll call it Yin Fierce, honey. Yin and Yang.
Ooh, I got tied to alter ego. I like that.
Alter ego.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like that's catchy, right?
I love. I'm going to put a shirt saying, this is my alter ego. Hashtag alter ego. That's a product you can sell right now. Mm-hmm. Create a t-shirt. Like this is my alter ego. Yes. See how that happens when you have a coach? I'm always thinking that way. Tiffany, if you were to write a book about yourself, how would you name it?
It would probably be named Fierce, Female, and Free.
Oh, triple F.
Yes.
F-U. Fierce, Female, and Free. Yes. Girl, I just gave me chills on that. Yay. Oh, my God. This has been amazing. I wish I had more time to spend with you, lovies. I want to ask you two questions and as before we transition. One, any final words that you want to share with the audience? Because I know both of you are beasting, got so many amazing things happening. I want to make sure the world knows where to see you, how to find you, and how to connect. What's next for you, ladies? What do you have going on, Tiffany?
Next is going to be the Design Week. Furniture to come. Give me 3 to 5 years. It's coming. That's the plan. You can find me on social, IG, T. Michelle White, or the design page is Mid City Design Group. Our website, www.midcitydesigngroup.com. It just works for you. Business didn't stop when Instagram and Facebook went down, so websites are a go-getter. And what would I say to anybody? Don't doubt those creative thoughts you have. Write them down, even if you hold them for years. I have books on books of things before I ever thought about leaving the federal government. So, yeah.
Wow. And now look at you. Beasting, honey. The manifestation of what she put in writing. That's powerful. What about you, Miss Yin?
I would just say, I'm going to keep it short and simple. I'm going to say go and get it. And just to simply, ignore all the hate and keep the positive and light in your life. And again, be confident, be you. And what I have coming up, I'm actually getting ready to go back to South Africa.
That's fun.
Be out there. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It's actually one of my favorite places to work. I think it's like top 3 places to visit. Like, it's amazing. So I'm excited to do that, go back there. And then, yeah, you can find me on Instagram. That's the only thing I use right now. And then my website, www.chinazaduson.com. That's how people can book me if you don't go through my agency. Yeah.
I love. Wow, such amazing light. You almost give me the feel like you get up and do yoga every day, Yin. I mean, I feel so calm and relaxed because I've got a beautiful friend named Courtney, and your spirit, it's even exuding like the calm, like, namaste, all that good energy. I love it. You probably burn Palo Santos and sage over there, right?
Yes,
got some crystals floating around somewhere?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, for those of you who are joining us tonight, I pray that you have been inspired. I pray that you got something of value from what these two amazing, beautiful bosses who have been beasting in their own lanes have been doing around the world. And I encourage you to stay connected. I encourage you to dig into your soul. Whatever that thing is that's nudging, for those of us in the spiritual world, that solar plex, whatever thing that's getting into the pits of your belly, do it. Feel the fear, do it anyways. And don't wait for permission from anyone to be the best version of you. I love how Yin talked about our haters. And it's funny because I made a post on Facebook today that said, welcome to the next level. We welcome all haters who will be used as fuel and motivation for the even next level. So don't be worried about those that don't agree with you. That's just simply saying they didn't have the courage to do what you were doing anyways. And as always, guys, we get together every Monday night here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow us on SheSpeaks Worldwide. Please go follow these ladies. Get connected. No matter what industry you are in, you can learn from everybody. We love you. We will see you at the top, and we thank you so much for tuning in to SheSpeaks TV tonight. Tune in next Monday. We'll see you again.